Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the live stream session from Rhino's Computer Service. I was going to make one yesterday, but I was kind of busy with other projects here. So we're we got an interesting service call this morning. This is one place that I do regular business with. So basically, what we're going to be doing is we currently have a computer that's basically, after looking at the motherboard, it's got bloated capacitors and got acid all over the board. So we're going to retire that computer. Actually, really, honestly, wasn't meant to last as long as it did in today's throwaway society of computers. It was a HP Pavilion from, it's got DDR2 memory, and it was running Windows 10. It was a Vista period computer from about 2008, 2009, as an Athlon processor. And it's one of those PCs that you could buy from Best Buy for like $729 back in the day. It's one of those multimedia PCs where it had like 4 gigs of RAM. You get like a 320 gig hard drive. They had a DVD light scribe drive on it with a multi card reader in the front. I'll be showing that PC, but in this little short segment, we're going to be talking about the procedures of what we're going to be doing with that piece of equipment and what we're going to be selling the client. So obviously most of you know this already, but we're going to go over this again. So when you're selling somebody a piece of equipment, computer or TV or whatever, you kind of have to look at the needs of the client. So basically, I pretty much evaluated what they're going to be using it for. It's mainly just office work. So you don't really need a gaming type PC or a workstation type machine. Basically, you just need a bare bones office machine, like either a Dell Latitude or an Optiplex or a Lenovo ThinkCenter or an HP Compact Pro or ProDesk or Elite Desk. So they don't need a graphics card or anything. The onboard graphics will be no more than adequate enough to handle their day-to-day tasks. Basically, mainly what they're going to be using it for just browsing the web, corresponding to Facebook posts, emails. They're going to be typing a lot of documents and making a lot of spreadsheets and PowerPoints. So it's the typical business machine would be more than adequate for and appropriate for that kind of work. There's some businesses that buy home or pavilions and all that to do, or Inspirons or idea pads or idea centers for that kind of application. But honestly, for the office, I would keep it strictly office equipment. For home, you can buy whatever you want for at home. But that's just kind of that's how I determine it and how I evaluate. I try to be more honest and more with integrity as far as I don't want to oversell something or undersell. any equipment. And honestly, each brand of computer offers a different, or has something nice to offer. Like Dell, some of those Dell like Optiplexes, I still service some that are roughly about 30 years old. Some from the early 90s yet. Uh, I don't see a lot of HPs that are 30 some years in age. And I don't, and as far as Lenovo hasn't been in the picture for that many decades, but prior to that was IBM, like the PL 300s and some of those. But I would have to say Dell actually has an impressive lineup of PCs, and even HP has a decent setup. So that's kind of why I decided to go with HP. Well, and on top of that, I'm kind of closing out some of the models here. That way, when I move, I don't have that many to take with me. So the model that we'll be selling the person is a HP Compact Pro 6200 with the Core i5 clocked at 3.10 gigahertz with roughly about 8 gigs of RAM. I believe I'd have to look inside the ones I have here, but I believe they also include or have SSDs in them. So that's a major selling point in computers and refurbs nowadays. Everybody likes snappy fast performance as far as like how fast computers boot up, how fast stuff opens, and that's what people want. They want speedy computers. They don't want to they don't want a computer where they can run and get a cup of coffee or go to the post office and get their mail and come back and it's still not fully up and running. That kind of stuff, people just, it turns them off to have computers that slow in the office or at home. So, as far as a loaner computer that I'm going to be issuing them for the time being, that is a HP 6305 with the AMD A6 processor. That's one of my personal ones, but I've known the current manager that's running the business. I've known her for the last 2 years. It's going on 3. And I've been working with her on other numerous projects other than computer consulting. So I trust there's certain clientele that when they've done a lot of major business, you got a little more flexibility with certain people compared. 99% of my customers I got good standing with, and they got good ethical morals themselves. So the more trustworthy, the more you can be able to provide other services and be able to back certain projects, and not really backing so much, but more that you know that they got good credit in that retrospect. So on that note, we will do part 2 of this video in roughly probably about 30 minutes. Because what I want to do is I want to make sure that loaner computer, I got to put a copy of fresh copy of Windows 10 on that machine. Either that or either way, that one I haven't actually upgraded 10 yet. I'm still running Windows 7 Professional, the OEM image. Heck, what I could just do, just throw a fresh drive in there and just kind of install Windows. Well, actually, I think my most easiest solution would be to take my USB stick or flash drive with Windows 10 to go media kit and then just do the upgrade on the system. Yeah, I think that's what we'll do. It's a lot simpler, it's not as messy, and it doesn't take as long. So that's what we'll do. We'll get that going, and then we'll go from there as far as what it's going to take to do the tower, and then we'll get it to them before the end of business hours. So we will be back momentarily or shortly. So we'll see you in a bit.